For the first time in Magic the Gathering history, Magic players have come together to demand that all of the cards in an upcoming product be preemptively banned. Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. We are here to have the discussion that a bunch of you have been waiting for. A lot of people showed up in the live stream last night, comments on yesterday's video. What's going on with the Walking Dead secret lair? It has the Magic community abuzz. It is actually a genuinely big deal. Now, I waited to make this video because yesterday I was a pretty angry guy. And what was going to happen was I was going to make a ranting, swear-filled video that ultimately wouldn't be as useful as the video that I've decided to more calmly make today, where we're going to go through why this product is a big problem, what it can mean for Magic, because this is actually really, really significant. So what I'm doing here is I'm not doing a review of the actual secret lair. If you guys are interested in that, we can do a separate video where we go over each of the individual cards. I am going to use one card in this video as an example so we're all on the same page, but this is not a review of the secret lair. This is talking about the problem of its existence and also examining why there is such an outcry in the community. Because this, honestly, is the angriest that I have seen the Magic community in a while. And it might have to do with the fact that we got a double layer of insanity yesterday with just Uro getting banned and the language and everything from the banning leading to people to be frustrated. But this Walking Dead thing is honestly a much bigger deal than the ban. And actually, I think they kind of do tie together, and I'll get into that. But to make sure everybody's on the same page, the first thing we're going to do is look at one of the cards from the Walking Dead secret lair so we can talk about what this product is. So I'm going to put up on the screen here one of the cards from the secret lair. Now, for any Walking Dead enthusiasts, I'll be real, I only watched like the first season of the show before I lost interest in it. It didn't really pull me in. I'm not really like an apocalyptic zombie kind of guy anyways, so it's not really my cup of tea, but I was engaged for the first season. Now, the character up on the screen here, I don't know how to pronounce her name. I don't know if it's Michonne or if it's Michonne. Those are my two first guesses, right? You'd figure with something that was this prevalent, The Walking Dead's a big deal, it's a big property, that I might know the name, but I don't. Now, this card is 1 green, 1 black, and 3 for a 3/3 human warrior. When she enters the battlefield, create 2 walker tokens. Now, walker tokens specifically made by this are 2/2 zombie tokens. So what she's really saying is when she enters the battlefield, create 2 2/2 zombie tokens. And as long as she's equipped, she must be blocked if able. And whenever she and at least 2 zombies attack, so those walker tokens count, she gains indestructible until end of turn. So this is a card representing an actual character from The Walking Dead, right? And when you look at the idea behind it, I actually looked up the concept behind this character. I had seen her somewhere and knew that she traveled with 2 zombies that were chained up, which in all honesty is a really compelling concept for a character. If you're in a zombie apocalypse, the idea that you're traveling with zombies, like the idea of a zombie apocalypse is avoid the zombies, defend yourself from the zombies. And I mean, sure, there'll be some like crazy individuals who are like, I'm going to go out and fight the zombies because that's how I get my kicks and blow off steam. But to just have somebody who travels with zombies in tow, chained to them, is a pretty crazy concept. Like, who in their right mind would do that? And then you learn that the idea is basically these zombies are used as like camouflage so she can kind of blend in. As long as they're within a certain proximity of her, the rest of the undead will treat her as if she's one of them and doesn't exist. And that's a pretty clever setup. And the ruthless part of it, when you're like ruthless survivor, first of all, chaining, you like, these are human beings. Every zombie was a person at one point, right? And we have this like, it's inherent in our culture, this respect for the dead, right? That's like that's across the board. It pretty much doesn't matter what culture you go to on Earth. We're like that, right? So this is a very ruthless sort of like throwing aside your humanity in a way. But there's another layer to it where it turns out that the two zombies that she has chained to her are her boyfriend, who used to be her boyfriend, obviously, and his friend. So she has a personal connection to these people as well. So the level of ruthless survivor, it's pretty cool there. But like I said, we're not here to do like a full review of the secret layer. If you would like me to go over the cards like I have with her for everything in the set and get a little more in depth with the flavor and everything, we can totally do that. I just wanted to give you an example of one of the cards that we're dealing with so we could talk about the issues. Now, one of the issues I personally have with it, and this is going to be a taste issue and not the main thrust of why people are genuinely angry about this, and this is the fact that it's like a crossover property. While I find the concept of somebody surviving in a zombie apocalypse, and if this was just like an original character designed for Magic the Gathering as a concept in a world full of zombies, I'd be like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But this is bringing like real world stuff into Magic the Gathering, and Secret Lair is the place to do that. So this doesn't bother me on a high level, where Secret Lair is the perfect place to make your Godzilla lands, to bring in like a Walking Dead crossover. I don't like real world Earth properties coming into Magic the Gathering. Godzilla is a real life Earth property, so is The Walking Dead. They are parallel universes, but they're parallel universe Earth, right? And there's not that much of a difference between them. In Godzilla's world, it's just Earth, but hey, Godzilla's out in the ocean and he's gonna come and eat a power plant or something, you know what I mean? And this Walking Dead is Earth, but the only thing is they never had any zombie movies or anything. So they don't call them zombies, they call them walkers. Like, other than that, it's just Earth. You got your normal cards. Like, there's nothing different about the world except for the zombies. And I don't like that being brought into Magic the Gathering. I like Magic the Gathering as high fantasy and adventure and just like swords and sorcery style. That is my preference. So the crossovers that are going to bother me the least are the ones that don't tie to Earth and go swords and sorcery. But that's definitely not what The Walking Dead is, right? If you have something like, for example, the upcoming Dungeons and Dragons sets, there's one of those. That's more okay to me because you could easily just take like a Dungeons and Dragons realm, a world or whatever, make it into a Magic world, and it's the same difference. Swords and sorcery, all kinds of crazy stuff. So that is a much smaller stretch for me, and I get more behind that. But again, this is a Secret Lair, so it's okay for it to be Walking Dead. Like, it's okay for it to be Walking Dead. It's okay for it to be non-Earth. Now, where people are getting genuinely angry, and their anger is understandable, is that these are functionally unique cards, okay? So what that means is there are no other cards in Magic that do this. There is no parallel to Michonne in Magic. There is no other creature that costs 5 mana, that's 3/3, when it comes into play, makes 2 zombies, when it's equipped, has to be blocked, and whenever at least 2 zombies attack with it, she becomes indestructible. That is a unique set of abilities to her, right? Now, every Secret Lair up until now has been reprints. It's just, here's a different treatment for cards that already exist. These are functionally unique cards that you will only be able to acquire for a short window of time, right? You have less than a week to order these cards. Now, when they did the Godzilla tie-in for Ikoria, the Godzilla cards had the Godzilla name and then the name of a regular card underneath it. These don't have that. And the reason is Wizards of the Coast does not intend to print these as regular Magic cards. There was a huge outcry when this was announced with functionally unique cards, and I actually talked about that when we got a spoiler previously about a Daryl card, which may or may not exist. We don't know the full contents of the Secret Lair yet. So that may actually be a card that exists or not. But I remember talking about it and how it would be functionally unique in a Secret Lair. So you can't get these cards any other way. Wizards of the Coast has come out and said that theoretically these could be redone as regular Magic cards, but that wasn't their plan. That means that their plan all along was to release functionally unique cards like this that are only viable in a couple of formats. And by that, I mean only usable. You can't use them in Standard. You can't use them in Modern. You can't use them in Frontier. Oh, wait, no, that's Pioneer now, right? They changed. Pioneer's the name of it. I get those two mixed up. They're both failed versions of the same thing at this point, it feels like. I mean, it's Pioneer's pretty much done for, isn't it? I feel like, let's be real. Pioneer's a victim of what happened in the world more than anything, right? As opposed to like mistakes made. But either way, what's going on is these are really aimed towards Commander players. Let's be real. That's what this is. These are meant for Commander players to desire. This is not a happenstance move. This is a calculated move targeted towards Commander players. And it's most likely, I'm laying out my opinion here because I don't work for Wizards. I don't know what's going on underneath. I'm just paying attention from the outside. So I'm going to lay down that this seems like the spearhead of something that's going to get real ugly, honestly. So we've got a scenario where they're making these functionally unique cards. They have zero intention of reprinting them. And look, I mean, they're making a bunch of legendary creatures. They've pretty much all but directly said, we're making this just for Commander. They say they'll be legal in like vintage formats like Commander. Like they make sure to mention Commander, but they don't come right out and say this is geared towards Commander when it 100% is. This is meant to allow Wizards to move into selling singles directly, but they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to sell you singles directly, but they also want those singles to have high secondary market values. I like how my mistake was saying sigh. It's like my heart. Honestly, I want to rant and rage. I'm doing my best to remain calm and discuss this in a way where hopefully all the information comes across effectively, because this is a fairly big deal. Wizards of the Coast moving into selling, instead of special version reprints, brand new cards opens an entire different realm of problems. So as a result, the Commander community specifically has risen up, and there are multiple Reddit posts, including at least one petition to the Commander Council. Is it the Commander Council? Commander Kitty? Commander Committee. Whatever. The Commander dudes. The Lords of Commander. Those who make decrees from upon high about Commander. Anyways, the outcry from Commander players has been massive. I feel like it's almost to the point where I don't even need to mention that because everyone already knows Commander players are riled up. So they want this stuff preemptively banned. They are not willing to accept the idea of Wizards creating functionally unique cards you can only get from Secret Lairs and having those be legal in Commander. Now, this, like I said, this is the spearhead of something ugly. This is going to lead to big shakeups in the Commander community. What has happened, and I said earlier in the video, there's a connection between the Earl ban and what's going on here, and I genuinely believe there is. There's a fundamental shift that has occurred over at Wizards of the Coast, and this is most likely spurred on by the higher levels of management who are essentially making all of the decisions that are leading to the problems with the game now, because they're interested in short-term goosing the bottom line, making it rise, but not long-term health of the game. So as a result, we're seeing a number of changes that aren't good for the health of the game. That's the fire design, where we see a ton of cards that are overpowered being pushed out and just ban them, but not until they've sold enough. That sort of mentality, right? The reason the power level of the cards being pushed is what you really need to look at. Originally, for the longest period of time, Wizards treated Standard as if it was the darling baby that was like the most important crown jewel, because that's where they make their money. We're going to sell you these cards. They're good for a couple of years. We've built in planned obsolescence so we can keep selling you cards, keep the format going, keep it fresh. And they used to put a lot more effort into balancing Standard. Now, they don't do that anymore. The reason for that is mainly Commander. Yes, other formats like Modern and things like that, but really it's Commander. Wizards wants to get as much money as they can from their biggest customer base. And the biggest customer base they've determined now is actually Commander players. And as a result, we're seeing a huge skew in how things are designed. They're making bigger, flashier, more powerful cards like Omnath. Omnath is dominating right now in Standard. Omnath wasn't designed for Standard. If you look at him, it's very, very clear. He was designed to be like, hey, Commander players, come love me, Papa. That's the scenario we're dealing with, right? So that was like the first area where we started to see this Commander bleed, right? And now we've gone past the point where, like, you can't dispute that they have their eye on Commander in this way. Why do you think Brawl exists? Brawl was them going, everybody loves Commander. Why don't we just go ahead and we'll make like a rotating Commander. That'll be perfect. And we can sell more stuff and whatever. But Brawl mostly is a very niche format. A lot of people don't care about it. Why would you play Commander Light when you can play Commander? And the thing about Commander is Commander's the only format that really grew 100% organically. It used to be called Elder Dragon Highlander, and it's a format created just by the player base. And it's fundamentally different than normal Magic. Commander is its own thing. And part of that is because Wizards has kept a relatively light touch and didn't really mess with Commander. Just let it be a thing. And then for a while, they're like, okay, we'll make a Commander deck. But now they've leaned into it. They want to make a Commander deck essentially for every set and all these things. They're making these secret layers specifically targeting towards Commander players. And this is a crucial moment for Commander. Mark my words, this is going to be a turning point if this process continues, because the players are crying out to the Commander Council, Commander Committee, whatever it is. I'll call them the CC. How about that? They're calling out to the CC to ban these cards preemptively. Now, this puts the CC in a very uncomfortable position because the Commander Committee is a weird thing, okay? Every format in Magic the Gathering is curated by Wizards of the Coast, the makers of the game. They publish the ban lists, they do all of this, right? They make the game, they test the game, they say what's allowable in every format of the game except Commander. Commander has an independent Commander Committee that's made up of a handful of people. I don't even know who's on the Commander Committee because I don't play, or Commander Council, or Commander Grand Sages, whatever they're called. I don't play Commander. Right? So I don't really pay that much attention to the Commander Committee. I have no idea who's really a part of it. Anyhow, these guys are some Magic players who obviously love EDH, right? And they're in charge of making a banned list / suggestion list, kind of, because Commander is the one format where it's like, yo, make your own house rules. Have your own setups. These are guidelines. These are guidelines. That's how it's always come across to me. Commander's got a real casual vibe to it, aside from the competitive Commander crowd, which, I mean, whatever it is, you're always going to find people who are super competitive and move into that. Let's not worry about that for now. But Commander is mainly a pretty casual group. And you've got the Commander Committee, who are like the word of God, pretty much. Yeah, people will vary from it a bit, but overall, a lot of people treat that as gospel for Commander. So Wizards of the Coast doesn't tell the Commander Committee what to do, but they do have like a functioning relationship that is obviously very imbalanced in terms of like, Wizards has all the power, right? You can't pretend to yourself that the Commander Committee is wholly independent and free to function however they want when they don't even have control over their own name. Because Commander didn't start as Commander. It started as Elder Dragon Highlander. But Wizards of the Coast couldn't trademark that name. So EDH became Commander, so Wizards could own the name and put that on products. So you see already right there, that's just a little bit of influence, and you can wave that away, because honestly, that's not the biggest deal, right? For me, one of the biggest sticking points with the Commander Committee's independence from Wizards is actually what happened with Unstable. Because when Unstable came along, basically, the Commander Committee agreed with like Wizards' idea. This is my understanding of the situation. Wizards was like, hey, Commander Committee, wouldn't it be fun if you made uncards legal in Commander for a month? And the Commander Committee was like, yeah, let's do that. We're going to do that, Wizards. And then they just like basically forced Commander groups to deal with the fact that now all of a sudden people can show up with uncards in their deck. And when you go, you can't play with those. Yeah, actually you can. It's in the rules for a month. And it's like, no, we don't want to deal with that. And then you got to get into fights. Like it caused kerfuffles in the Commander community and very much brought into question the independent integrity of the Commander Committee, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, I can't view you as independent when, you know, we want to make sure the format is fun and give everybody the tools to have a good time. And we just want to remove things that are really a problem and make sure there aren't problems like that. But we're just going to turn all the uncards loose on everybody. And it's like, really? Why? Well, these guys, they've got this set coming out and they're selling it right now. So it'd be really convenient if the most popular format that they're now aware of was able to, you know, buy in and play with it. So buy some Unstable, guys. Make sure you buy some Unstable. That's how it came across to me. You know what I mean? Like it was a marketing gimmick. And I can understand the Commander Committee wanting to work with Wizards to a certain degree, but that calls their integrity in this kind of stuff into question. And when it comes to this secret layer, now the Commander Committee is put in a very awkward position where if they ban the secret layers in Commander, now Wizards of the Coast is facing the fact that we made this product for Commander. And you guys who are in charge of Commander are saying that they can't be used. Yeah, maybe we need to rethink having this independent, you decide the ban list. Maybe it's time for Wizards to take over the Commander ban list and have an official Commander ban list. Maybe it's time to go, yeah, you're not who we're listening to anymore. We've got a much bigger voice, and it will take time for people to adjust, but they would. Anybody who thinks that the rule set wouldn't become the official rule set is deluded, because that's what will be programmed into things like MTGO, any official events, all of that, that's what would happen. You can be like, no, we the people would, no. Wizards of the Coast at any time they want can go to the Commander Committee and say, you're done. You're done. You can be unofficial. You're no longer official. We yoinked that. All right. And yeah, so whatever. Commander's our trademark. We can do what we want with it. I mean, if they wanted, they could even try and be like, no, you can't even call yourself that anymore. I mean, I doubt that would ever happen. That's antagonistic. But regardless, Wizards go, you're not in charge anymore. We're in charge. All right. So that's one side of what's going on with the Commander Committee, right? Where it's just like, on top, they've got Wizards looking down at them going, what's it going to be? And then below the Commander Committee are all the players looking up to them imploringly, please, Commander gods, please ban these cards. It's not fair. It's ridiculous that Wizards is able to make cards that are going to be legal for Commander that you have 1 week to get and have to pay whatever price they want to charge for. Don't allow them to set this precedent. Put your foot down and let them know they won't be legal in Commander, because there's no point in making them as like, maybe not no point, but it will reduce the incentive to Wizards to do this if Commander's off the table. If their biggest format, this stuff is not legal in, then from the perspective of the players asking the committee to do this, this will solve the problem. Now, what happens if the committee doesn't listen and just goes, yes, Wizards, you can do this? And that's just the way it goes. Then people start to look at the committee as essentially just an arm of Wizards. They're no longer considered independent, and people lose faith in them. Maybe another independent council pops up to like a half degree or something like that. Although, I don't know, man, because what I said about Wizards being in control still does apply here. Either way, it really does put the Commander Committee in a very tight spot. That's something I plan to do a more in-depth video on, but I just wanted to explain it from the perspective of the Walking Dead secret layer, so you understand why people are so riled up. Wizards of the Coast making functionally unique Magic cards that not only are only available in a particular window, but are now legal in Commander, and in addition, bring in properties that aren't like specifically magically, like you want these cards, you want these abilities, now you have to have the Walking Dead in your deck or in your cube or whatever it is. There's no way around it. There is no other alternate version that actually feels like it fits into Magic. So there's a number of reasons for people to be genuinely angry about this. I understand the anger, and I've managed to keep mine at a pretty low simmer. I gotta say, I've done a pretty good job here. So if you want to vent, whatever, man, say what you want to say in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on all of this, because there is a lot to unpack here, and this is actually food for multiple videos, so we'll get into it. If you'd like me to do a review of the full Walking Dead Secret Lair, let me know in the comments below. We'll go through the flavor and background of all the different characters, see how it matches up to the cards and all that. That could be fun. Gotten most of the out in this video, right? So if you want that, let me know. Other than that, if you like what I'm doing here, like, comment, subscribe. It's all great for the channel. You can pick yourself up an Owner of Fine Luxury Cardboard shirt down in the comment section there. There'll be a Teespring link if you want to check it out. Anyhow, thanks for coming by, my friends. I will see you. Oh, wait, no, you know what? Since I mentioned all this stuff, I got a dope lore video that I just released on my other channel. You want to relax, have a good magical time, and see how amazing old school magic stories are? Head on over to Fantasy Geographic. It's fantastic. There we go. Now I'm done talking about all the stuff that I am shilling. No, you don't shill for yourself. I'm just promoting my stuff. Thanks for coming by. See you later.